Yo, what's going on, y'all? By today's title and thumbnail, you already know what to expect. This lady, young lady at that, beautiful young lady, had a story time of, I guess she's back in America now. Allegedly, she was locked up for over a year and a half in a pen in a totally different country because she was, let's say, in love. I'm just going to say, allegedly, she was in love. And it's just crazy what the crazy things you would do. You know, I don't know if she's really in love. I'm just saying it sounds like it from the teaser. I know I ain't put it in, but when y'all go watch it, y'all go see what I'm talking about, man. But y'all make sure if you guys enjoy this video that you smash the like button, comment, and subscribe for your boy. But man.
So I just got out of prison. For those of y'all that don't know, I spent the last 19 months locked up in the UK. And a lot of you guys wanted a story time, so I'm gonna give it to you. So these guys approached me on Instagram and were like, oh, do you want to make some money? So I was like, of course. So they were like, all you got to do is fly to the UK and pick up a suitcase that's already at the airport. And I was like, that sounds...
Can y'all see through my glasses? Are y'all seeing what I'm seeing right now? Like, can y'all see exactly what I'm seeing right now? Not lying. She's very beautiful. Bad, actually. I'm just saying she's fine in here. But something is telling me the lights are on. But no one is home. I don't see no, like, random men ask you to transport luggage in another country and you just say, oh, I got it. I got you. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We got to watch the rest of this. We have to. And it not even done yet. I'm very starting to itch now. This is crazy.
Sounds easy. Honestly, I just wanted to go to make content because the flight and everything was paid for. So I was like, I'm gonna make vlogs, like I'm gonna do TikToks, all that stuff. I really didn't care too much about the task itself. I was there for other reasons. The bags were not in my name. I did not check anything in. At the time, I had a friend that was staying with me. I'm not gonna say her name, but if you know, you know. She was like, oh, I'm gonna go with you. And I was like, okay. Like, I didn't even really want her to come with me, but I wasn't gonna deny somebody the opportunity to make money. So I was like, all right. Mind you, the guys did say that I could invite girls for the next trip that they were gonna do. And I did text some girls. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a liar, so I'm gonna just be honest about everything. I did text some girls like, oh, do you wanna come to the next trip? But this friend that came with me, I did not invite her. Just keep that in mind. On May 31st, 2024, I flew out to the UK. So we're on the plane and I get this like really weird feeling inside. Mind you, I had just gotten like baptized a month prior. So I was feeling kind of guilty inside, you know? When I was on the plane, I pray to God and I'm like, God, if I'm not supposed to be doing this, please prevent me from doing it. So when I landed and I got to the passport checkpoint, they're like, oh, what hotel are you staying at? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm here for modeling. Like, these guys booked my hotel. I don't know what the hotel name is. So they were like, go sit over there. So I felt like that was my sign from God that I shouldn't do it. So
yeah, I think as soon as you told them you don't know, they immediately put you into the Interpol list. Like, that's almost like you going into customs and you answering the wrong questions. Let's go get messy. Let's definitely go get, I did that in Jamaica by accident. I put the stuff that I had and I think I put it in the wrong. Man, they searched every part of my bag. But the fact that I don't know them, this is for modeling. What?
At that point, I was already like feeling nervous and stuff. So I texted.
They was like, we got her. We got one.
They're like,
this is easy.
What hotel are you staying at? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm here for modeling. Like, these guys booked my hotel. I don't know what the hotel name is. So they were like, go sit over there. So I felt like that was my sign from God that I shouldn't do it. So
I genuinely think that you asking for a sign was your sign. I know I'm the only one that think that you asking to give me a sign, if this is that was your sign.
At that point, I was already like feeling nervous and stuff. So I texted the guys and I was like, low key, like, I don't even want to do this anymore. They were like, that's fine, just go to the hotel. But the girl that I was with, I don't know what she told them, but she went through, she left me. So at this point, I'm waiting on the side, she's already gone. So she ends up picking up a suitcase and she like delivered it to the people she was supposed to deliver it to. And she met me at the hotel like an hour or two after she did that. So then she comes back to the hotel. She wants to take a nap. So we both take a nap together. 3 hours later, our hotel room is being raided by the police. And we're getting arrested. We get arrested on a Friday. And I'm thinking by Monday we're going to be out. So on Monday, we see the judge. And he's like, do you plead guilty or not guilty? And I'm like, not guilty, because I didn't even do anything. I didn't touch no drugs. I didn't like... So he's like, okay, like, you're going to have to go to trial. And we're going to give you your trial date in 4 weeks on July 8th. So I'm like, at this point, I start crying. Because I'm like, nah, I cannot be in here for 4 weeks. Like, I got to go home. Like,
where's your parents?
How y'all going to hold me against my will for 4 weeks? Whatever. At that point, they take me to prison. And I went to HMP Newhall. So fast forward, July 8th comes. They're like, okay, your trial date is set for October 28th. 2024. And I'm like, there's absolutely no way I'm gonna stay in here for another 3 months. Like, this is crazy. So boom, now it's October. They transferred me to a different prison called HMP Style. In my case, there was like 7 people. I didn't know the other people. I only knew the friend that came with me. Mind you, I had never asked what was in the suitcases, like, because I genuinely did not care. I'm the type of person, like, if I know something and I think it's bad, it's going to eat at my conscience, you know? So I was like, I'd rather not know. But I think deep down in my head, I just thought it was weed or something. But it turned out it was cocaine. So I'm like, what the hell? Like, I've never done coke a day in my life. Like, I'm not a coke dealer. Like, I would never do something like that. At this point, it makes the case so much bigger because, like, if you smuggle weed into the UK, most people get out within 4 months. But since it was cocaine, like, we were looking at, like, 10 plus years. So trial comes and they basically forced us to plead guilty. Because they were like, if not, you're looking at 14 to 15 years. And I was like,
nah, something is not right, man. Like, I'm gonna be 1,000% honest with y'all. The lights are on, but nobody is home. Because if you didn't touch any, y'all can say if I'm wrong or not. I mean, country laws might be different. If you was not in possession of anything, it don't matter what was going on. It could be the intent, but they didn't catch you with anything to. And where was your family? Where was your friends? What they giving you? Like, if they were paying for your ticket, they could have paid for you a lawyer or something. It's just not making sense. Like, gullible. This is crazy.
It can't be here for that long. So I told them that I was like, okay, I'm gonna plead guilty to coming over here with the intent to do something, but I didn't do it. So
right, how that goes.
Just letting that be known, but I'm guilty of the intent, yes. So after trial, they were like, okay, you guys are gonna get sentenced in February. So we wait till February comes. At that point, the girl that came with me, she took a plea deal with the cops and she told them that I recruited her. You know, you invited yourself. Like, I did not want you to come on this trip. She had used my messages against me because there was messages of me texting other girls on Instagram saying I didn't come. So she made it seem as if she was one of those girls, but there was no phone evidence or anything like that of me asking her if she wanted to come on this trip. So yeah, she basically like threw me under the bus and did me dirty. So because of that, they thought I was like a recruiter, like a freaking like ringleader or something.
Right.
So they put me significant role. So at this point, I'm getting done so dirty because my lawyer is also representing her as well, which is a conflict of interest. Like, he's not even supposed to do that. But the whole time he's telling me like, don't worry, she's not going to throw you under the bus, blah, blah, blah. Sir, she did. And what are you going to do about it? Nothing. He did nothing. February comes, we get sentenced. They give me 11.8 years. I'm like, bro, what? They end up giving her 4 years. And she ended up getting out 2 months after we got sentenced. So I'm like, bro, no way. Mind you, 6 months prior, she had gotten arrested in New York for the same thing. So it's like she had prior convictions of this same stuff, but she's over here trying to say that I recruited her. Like, girl, you've been doing this way before me. This was my first time doing something like this. So anyways, she gets out back in like May, and they're over here telling me like your earliest release date is 2027. And I'm like, ain't no way I'm staying here till 2027. I'm writing like letters to Trump, to the White House. Nobody's getting back to me. I'm over here texting like everybody I know, like, please help me get out of prison. At the time, the UK prison systems were so full, they were at 99% capacity. So originally you only have to serve 50% of your sentence, but then they changed it to 40%. Then like months later, they changed it to 30%. And then finally, by the grace of God, the law passed and they said foreign nationals need to be automatically deported because we don't have no space here for them. So they recalculated my sentence in September and they said I was time served. So by the time they were looking for flights for me, they were like, oh, your passport is expired, so we need to get you an emergency passport. So it took like 3 weeks to get an emergency passport. And then they told me, they're like, your flight is booked for December 3rd. So December 3rd, they escorted me to the airport. They gave me a little debit card with 1,500 on it. Because apparently if you agree to get deported from the UK, they give you 1,500 as an incentive to leave their country. So I got a debit card and they took me to the gate, watched me get on my flight, and I came home. They did keep my phone though, like I didn't get that back. And I didn't get back all the stuff I got arrested with. Like I took my camera to vlog, I took my Beats headphones,
Yeah, they taking all
clothes,
that.
like everything. They still have it. Like they did not give that stuff
It's
back to me.
it's worth it though. Honestly, it's worth it. You can have all that. I'm out. Keep everything. I'm out of here. They probably took all that because they probably thought it was money that you bought with that.
But it wasn't so bad. Like, I don't have to serve any time here in America. Thank God. I served 19 months. Everything worked out in my favor. But at the end of the day, if you're out
Everything worked out in my favor.
here lying on my name, saying things that aren't true, or trying to use my story as your own story, knowing, well, you did what you did, just know God don't like ugly. And I got all the proof, all the legal papers with everybody's testimonies, all the pictures of everybody's involvement. And even though I'm not going to air anybody's business out or anything like that, just know that I forgave the girl that did what she did. We're no longer friends anymore. If you know her, you know her. If she's out here in these streets talking about me, y'all know I'm not a bad person. I've already heard so many things of the things that she's been saying out there in LA about me. I don't care. That's my old life. I'm here, I'm out. By the grace of God, I get to spend Christmas and New Year's with my family. I did spend the last 2 birthdays in prison, my 25th and my 26th, but oh well, at least I didn't have to spend 11 years locked up. So yeah. Anyway, shout out to all my other co-defendants. I'm glad y'all are all home. Much love. We did that. Okay, bye.
She said she forgave them, y'all. And we not done here. It's more. But the fact she forgave them, I think she forgave them for her sanity. But I'm so sorry. Everybody, especially this going viral on TikTok, everybody would have been held accountable. At this point, I done lost 2 years of my life. And I wonder how that goes. Will she have to say she's a convicted criminal if she's got convicted in UK? Even though it's like the same, like, you know, England type brand. Do she have to say that, or if it's just America type criminal? You know what I'm saying? I wonder how that goes.
So I was in 3 different prisons. The first prison I was in was called HMP Newhall. I stayed there for 4 months. The second one was called HMP Style. I stood there for 10 months. The last one was HMP Peterborough. I stood there for 4 months. In all the prisons, we didn't have to wear like orange jumpsuits or anything. Like you could wear your own clothes. So if I got arrested in this, I could wear this. So we got laptops within like the first 6 days of us getting there. The laptops don't have like internet access, but you can watch like podcasts and listen to music and email people. Right before trial started, they moved me to Style, and Style was like really fire because we were in like these houses, like it wasn't even cells. It was like this big ass mansion with 12 bedrooms and like 19 to 22 women living inside of it. You had a roommate as well, but the officers weren't 24 hours on the house. So the house would be locked all day. Officers would just come like 3 or 4 times to do roll check, which is just like attendance basically, make sure everybody's there, nobody like escaped from the house. And we had a kitchen in there, so we got a budget of like $400 a week. And I used to do like the food shopping for the house, so I would order like rice and chicken. Every day, girls were baking cakes in there. Like during Christmas and New Year's, like the older women of the house who acted like our moms or whatever, they would set up like this big little banquet. It was like the Last Supper. We did like...
You know what? I'm not even mad at this. It seemed like this was more like UK prisons are designed for like rehabilitation, which I feel like prisons should be, depending on, of course, the crime you do. I definitely think the US needs to do better, because it seemed like that they treated them like people. The US, there are particular times where people do need to be treated like animals, but it's not helping their situation at all, depending on the crime, of course, you know. But it don't surprise or make me mad, nothing like that. You know, they still people at the end of the day. Like, so I guess that's how she came out, how she did. I think if she was locked up a year or 2 years, and I think it was a year and 6 months. Yep, a year and 6 months. In America, she would have came out with all face tattoos, messed up, institutionalized. It seemed like it was just like a detox for her.
Like Secret Santa, and we played bingo, but it was really cute. And yeah, it was really nice. Very family oriented. So in Style, they had this radio station there called the National Prison Radio. I worked there for like 7 months as a radio host. So the music that gets played on the laptops is produced by the National Prison Radio. So Style is the only women's prison that had a studio. So I had my own like little channel called The Love Bug, where I played like love songs and stuff. So on my show, I played Nelly, Ashanti, Ja Rule, Ice Spice sometimes, even though that's not really like... Anyways, and so I would be like, hi guys, you're listening to the National Prison Radio, and it's me, Leandra, your favorite American. Coming up next, we're gonna play Marvin's Room by my husband Drake. So yeah, it was a vibe. It was really cool because that experience like taught me how to like edit and like go in the studio and record my own stuff. They also had this center there called the YA Hub, which was like the young adults hub. So anybody between like 18 and 25 could go there and do like arts and crafts, baking, stuff like that. It was just like a hangout spot for all the young offenders to go and chill and see each other. Towards the end of my sentence, they moved me to Peterborough because Peterborough is the place where all foreign nationals get sent to be deported. And it was like we were back to being in cells again, which sucked. But after a little while, I got my own room, and then I got like a little prison boo or whatever. You're around all these people that are like considered bad people, but you hear their stories, you start to understand that like a lot of these people's situations are just circumstantial. Like a lot of people are in because of like domestic violence or self-defense. And so it just changes your perspective, because the things that you hear on the articles are usually like not accurate, and they paint people out to be like way worse than what they are. When you really just meet these people one-on-one, you're like, wow, like it's like a tough topic, because obviously that's gonna like trigger some people, because they're gonna be like, what about the victims? And that is not to discredit the victims or to justify what these people did, or even what I did. People were saying I didn't take accountability in my last video, but I literally said I knew what I was getting myself into. I was just upset that I was lied about. That's pretty much it. Obviously, you do something like shady or illegal and you're gonna get prison time for it, you know? Like, that's why I was so nonchalant with my sentence, because at the end of the day, I reflected on the person I was, and I was like, I was a person back then, you know? Like, I deserve to be in prison right now because I need to like get my life together. They have a chapel there, so I was going to church every Sunday. I ended up like reading the whole entire Bible within 4 months. Prison really changed my life for the better. I realized like I took advantage of my former life, you know, like I didn't realize how privileged I was in America, and we don't realize as Americans how privileged we are compared to like third world countries and stuff like that. Because I would watch TV and I'd be seeing like these poor little African from Uganda with flies in their eyes and having dirty water, and it just makes you appreciate the little things. Like I never fully appreciated the luxuries of having like a shower, clean water, a comfortable bed, you know, stuff like that. Or even just like having some money. Some of these women were really struggling financially. I was fortunate enough to have like friends and family sending me money while I was in there. We were working for like $2-3 a day. So these girls would have to save up their money so that they could buy a canteen, which y'all would call a commissary. Yeah, they would have to save like 5 days worth of wages just to order some snacks on Canteen and stuff. And it's sad. Some people had to choose between calling their family and ordering food. And I was one of those people where I had to call my family rather than getting snacks because international calls are so much more expensive. It gave me a lot of perspective. I met like really wonderful, great women in there. Yeah, I'm really grateful for that experience. Like, people think I learned nothing from it, but I learned a lot. It really changed my life, so. But in Style and Peterborough, they both had salons. So you could like get your nails done, eyelashes done, hair done. Like, I was getting acrylic nails, lashes, dyeing my hair. We were in there looking like baddies or whatever. In our houses in Style, we would have a living room. So all the girls would sit together at like 8 or 9 o'clock and watch Love Island together. And it was so cute. Like, we would just be bonding and we'd be like just watching Love Island UK. Like, we were invested. And yeah, it was a really good dynamic in the house. Sometimes we would get people that would come on the house and start some drama, but it's easy to get those people kicked out the house. In all the prisons, we had phones in our rooms, like a landline, like a little. Also, you could set up video calls with your family and friends. So since I didn't get visits because all my family lived in America, my mom and my friends would set up this app called like Purple Visits, and we would get like a 30-minute video call. The front of the houses had like grass outside, so when it was warm, we would just go outside on the grass and like tan. The girls would wear like their little booty shorts and stuff, little like bras, and they'd just be tanning in the sun. It was so chill. It was really chill.
Seemed chill, yeah.
But then Peterborough sucked because they had no laptops there. So everything was like on a kiosk. And mind you, like while you're doing all these courses, you're getting like certificates and stuff, so you'd be certified in hairdressing. I have a certificate for DJ production, and then also like you can get a degree or your master's, because I think they offered free like college courses and stuff, which is really dope. Out of all the prisons I went to, I think Style was definitely my favorite. Peterborough sucked. I hated it there. Newhall was okay. They had a good structure. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So
yeah, I ain't gonna lie. You know, I'm glad she's out of that situation. It seemed like she's such a high spirit. A lot of situations like that, I personally feel like would have broke a lot of people. But if y'all see, she's still bad. She fine. I ain't gonna lie. And me and her like around like the same age, but she's very beautiful. She's, you know, vibrant. She still has like, you know, positive energy, it seemed like. And she said something important there. When you're in situations like that, it make you appreciate just even the smallest things. Like, it's people in life who have nothing. She said that she's seen people really have to choose. And I know some of y'all probably been in the system and stuff like that probably watch me, but people didn't have enough money where they had to choose to talk to their family or choose to eat. Some days they didn't eat because they wanted to talk to their family. That gotta be a crazy thing, man. But prayers out to her, man. Hopefully she's, you know, like she said, she learned from this situation and she's able to move forward. I do hope that everything else in life, it seemed like she just made a mistake. And it seemed like she's learned. She's definitely learned. But I do hope she exposed those people who they is, you know. But it seemed like she's came comfortable where she's at in life. So if it's gonna rattle or, you know, bring back up trauma, whatever she's been through, then probably not. But y'all let me know y'all honest thoughts and opinions on this down below, man. Y'all send us some prayers and let's go.